Hello, welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, classic slash non-classic. This is episode 78, double shot number 29. First up, AVX Versus. This basically just expands a whole bunch of different fights that happened during the Avengers vs. X-Men. This issues the whole 6-issue miniseries and the A Babies vs. X Babies one shot. Now, pretty much, there's many different writers. I'll list them off who does the writing in here. Jason Aaron, Steve Niman, Karen Gillian, Jeff Loeb, Chris Yost, Rick Mender, Karen Andrews, Matt Fraction, Kerry Young, and a whole bunch of people. It's basically, this also kind of leads into basically its replacement series, A plus X. Now, this is not that bad. There's a lot of good stories in here, but issue 6, they go way out of control, especially with that one. There's like one person here. We have Spider-Woman versus Emma Frost, Spider-Woman versus Storm, and Spider-Woman versus Psylocke. Because they got good writers in here, I'm gonna give this book an 8 out of 10, mainly because it's okay. Good fights in here. Next up is the book I have been waiting to do on here for some time. Avengers vs. X-Men. The 12-issue Maxi Series, which collects the 12-issue Maxi Series itself, issue 0, and the Nova story that introduces him, the character Kid Nova. Now, the writing here is done by legendary writers in this industry from Marvel right now. Brian Michael Bendis, Jason Aaron, Ed Brubaker, Matt Fraction, John Hickman. Now, who does what in this book? Okay, now, the people who won this book. Jeff Loeb does the .1 issue story, and that's it. Bendis does the 0 and number 1, and number 11. Okay? Jason Aaron does issues 2. Actually, he does 0. Bendis does 0, 1, 8, 11. Jason Aaron does 2, 9, and 12. Brubaker does 3, 10. Yeah, just 3 and 10. John Hickman, who writes Fantastic Four at this point, he does 4 and 6. And finally, you have Matt Fraction, who just does issue 5. Now, am I going to spoil anything that happens in this book? No. Why? Because a lot of people who read this book basically saying this book had a weak ending. It had an okay ending, but I didn't like the fact they killed Charles Xavier. It's not a really big spoiler. This story happened 2 years ago. Do I not like the fact? And what's my opinion about the death of Charles Xavier in issue 11? Bad idea. Luckily enough, it was written by Bendis, the guy who later ran Kenny X-Men. Okay. Now, do I have a problem with this event? No, I don't. Is it one of my favorite events? No. It's basically on dead bottom. It's one of my least favorite events. Though people at this point were getting tired of the hero versus hero events. I kind of was too, though this was the last one Marvel ever did like this. But this story had been building for years, especially in the X-Men books, as far back as M-Day. The House of M, this was building. For Avengers, apparently basically this event had been building for years. And finally, this event happened. Though it's not the first time they've had something like this happen. Back in the 80s, they had X-Men vs. Avengers miniseries. But it was nothing like this. And Spider-Man was definitely not a member of the Avengers at the time. Neither was The Thing, Iron Fist, or Red Hulk, or even Beast, for that matter. Beast and Wolverine, the only X-Men to actually fight against the X-Men in this entire event. Well, Wolverine and Beast have one good reason. They hate Cyclops. Now, it was good throughout most of the event, but then in the end it got a bit stupid, and it had a really bullcrap ending. Basically, apparently, by destroying the Phoenix Force with a combination of Scarlet Witch and Hope Summers, the population came back. And also after this particular storyline, Hope she was no longer important to the Marvel Universe as a whole. Right now, she's in a coma in the X-Force series. After this event ended, she went over the Cable and X-Force, and she hung out there for pretty much the rest of the series, until the series was relaunched as X-Force Volume 4. What rating would I give this? Because it had an okay start, really interesting start, it has some interesting fights with this whole thing. I give this book a 9.4 out of 10. I think the extra points up because Excuse me, I took 0.6 up because Death of Charles Xavier. That's the only thing I don't like about this event. Otherwise, though, that's it. Alright. Stay tuned for my next episode. Whenever I will post it, it will be my 79th episode, and if I do a double shot or a stand low, you'll find out.